8 days from today, the NBA play-in will officially start, with the playoffs following shortly after. I'm so damn hyped. The regular season, it's always good, but as NBA fans, we live for playoff basketball.
Best time of the year. Now let's look at basically every team that's still in the running for the playoffs and decide whether they're contenders or whether they're pretenders.
Before we start talking about the contenders and the pretenders of the NBA playoffs, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on any new videos. So before we talk about specific teams, let's just rattle off the obvious pretenders.
Quick lightning round.
Yeah, exactly. We got a week left in the season, so we don't know the exact playoff standings or the play-in teams, but we have a pretty good idea at this point. First off, the Blazers, gotta fit them in. We technically can still make the play-in at the time of this recording. It's not gonna happen, but had to get the mention.
Great year, but not there yet.
Yeah,
next year.
The Suns, probably not even going to make the play-in, which is crazy. 2 games behind the Kings right now. Even if they did, pretender.
Yeah.
Kings, they got some vets, but that's about it. The Mavericks, I mean, they're good when AD plays, but without Luka now, without Kyrie, they're a complete pretender.
Now over to the East, the Bulls, obviously that Caruso-Giddey trade that everyone mocked. Looking better now, looking like it might be a good thing for both teams. Shout out Kobe White, Eastern Conference Player of the Month. Again, like the Blazers though, feel like a next year team. Heat, without Jimmy, not much of a threat. Hawks are getting swept if they make the playoffs. Magic, nice end of the season, but not really anyone scared of them. I kind of disagree that you think the Pistons aren't deserving of a contender or pretender full segment to them, but yeah, they're probably ceiling is second round.
Yeah, it's disrespectful to put them in this group, but I mean, yeah, with no experience, they're probably not doing much, but they could win a playoff series for sure. We'll start with the Eastern Conference, and why not? Let's start with the New York Knicks. They overhauled their roster last offseason, and the starting 5 is fantastic, but they're just lacking in depth. They're supposed to get Brunson back on Sunday before this video goes out, so that's huge for them. What do you think? Contender or pretender?
I mean, I'm not sure you could say anything other than pretender given their record against good teams this year.
Yeah.
They haven't been able to beat good teams this entire season, and I know the regular season and the playoffs is entirely different, but they haven't been able to do it in the regular season. Why should I believe they're going to start doing it in the playoffs?
Yeah, I agree. Pretender. They don't have the depth. Like you said, they haven't beaten good teams. They're not a great defensive team either with Cat at center. They're probably going to have to play Boston in round 2 as well. So pretender, probably a second round exit. That's what it is.
Now Milwaukee, obviously tough to judge because Dame's out with the blood clots in his calf. I mean, there's optimism he's going to be back at some point this season, but it's really just a big unknown. Giannis is playing out of his mind trying to keep the Bucks on the right track. Honestly, prior to the blood clots with Dame, I probably still would have said contender, but given the uncertainty regarding his status, I think you have to say pretender.
Yeah, I might agree as well, but they're kind of in the same boat as the Knicks, not enough depth, and for them, it's not necessarily the defense, but the coaching. Doc is not bringing them to the finals.
Shot at Doc, right? What do you mean? He brought the 2008 Boston Celtics to the finals.
Only just the most stacked big 3 with a great supporting cast in Rondo. Without that team, Doc ain't doing nothing. The Pacers are a very interesting team because they're coming off making the conference finals last year. Sure, they had help. The opposing stars got injured, but regardless, they were one of the final 4 remaining teams. And then they got off to this awful start this year. They were 9-14 through their first 23 games. They've really picked it up recently. Tyrese Halliburton playing well. What do you think? Contender or pretender?
I mean, pretender. They have depth, but just not quite enough star power. No disrespect to Halliburton or Siakam. They're great players, but definitely pretender. I will say though, if they get the Pistons in the first round, that's probably the first round series I'm most excited for. Pistons, Pacers going back at it again in the playoffs. Yeah. I will be seated for that.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. I agree, pretender, but they have the depth. They have the experience now. I think they're super dangerous. I could see another conference finals run if everything goes well, but at the end of the day, they're lacking a little bit with the star power, so they're a pretender.
Now to the team with the best record in the Eastern Conference. For most of the season, they've been completely unstoppable, the Cleveland Cavaliers. They have cooled off a little bit recently. Regardless, they're going to have home court against anyone in the Eastern Conference. I'm not really bothered by the 4-game losing streak. I mean, it's a team with 60-plus wins that's starting to lose a few more games in the second half of the season after they've already locked up the first seed. I don't really see the cause for concern. I don't get why people are hitting the panic button. I still think this team's going to win the East, so I got to say contender.
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously a contender. And even after that losing streak, they've picked it up again recently. I will say, I feel confident with Boston beating them, assuming Boston is healthy. I just like Boston a lot more, but it would be so damn disrespectful to say they're a pretender or something. They're a contender, and they should make the conference finals and at least put up a very good fight against the Celtics. Final team in the East, the defending champion Boston Celtics. I mean, obviously they're contenders. Like, if you want to say something, you can. I know Drew Holiday hasn't shot the ball as well. I know Jaylen Brown has not shot the ball as well either. There's always the concern Porzingis could miss games. I mean, hell, he even missed games during the finals and they still won easily. I picked them to win the title before the season. At the very least, I still feel very confident they're coming out the East.
Yeah, I mean, you got to say contender. Even with everything you just listed, defending champs, Tatum and Brown, they're going to be fine. What Eastern Conference Finals at the absolute worst.
Yeah.
Now on to the Memphis Grizzlies. I mean, we just made a video about this team. Fire your coach 2 weeks before the playoffs. You're the pretender of all pretenders. I'm sorry. Like, it is what it is. It's not your year. Next year, maybe Isalo can get his system in place for a full season. Maybe they'll bounce back. But for this year, pretender.
Yeah, the only reason I left them in as like one of the teams to talk about is at one point early in the season, I probably would have said contender. They were a good offensive team, good defensive team, had the depth, but everything has gone downhill. So yeah, obviously pretender. Now one of the hottest teams in the NBA, the Los Angeles Clippers. Harden's been incredible this year. Zubac and Norman Powell stepped up. Kawhi is starting to look like old Kawhi again. Like, Clippers are dangerous. Could they be contenders? Unfortunately, I think they're not quite contender. Like, they're super dangerous. With Kawhi playing, they're even more dangerous, but Kawhi's health, I mean, he's probably gonna get injured in the playoffs, and then playoff James Harden. They're barely pretenders, but with the way they're playing, like, they're getting closer and closer to contender by the day.
I mean, I'm going to do the thing.
Oh, God.
If Kawhi stays healthy.
This guy. This guy right here.
I'm doing that. I'm sorry. I can't resist, okay? If Kawhi stays healthy, this is like a C tier contender.
Okay.
Like the lowest possible tier of contender. But playoff Kawhi, I think he's good enough to cancel out playoff James Harden.
Fair enough.
And you know what? I'm just going to gamble on that. You know, maybe this is the year James Harden finally figures out. He's what, 35?
Something like that.
Maybe he finally figures it out in the playoffs. So yeah, I'm going C tier contender for the Clippers. Now to the Timberwolves. I was super high on them coming into the season. I was worried that they lost Cat, but I felt like Anthony Edwards was good enough that he could carry them all the way to the NBA Finals. Hasn't been the best season in the world, but I still think they're a contender. They had the rocky start to the season. They figured it out in the second half of the year. They're what, 4-0 against Denver this season, beat them 6 straight times. I get Julius Randle in the playoffs, his numbers fall off a cliff, right? I'm worried about it too, but I still think with Edwards, Conley, with Gobert, I think they've got enough to remain in the contenders tier.
I said pretender, but they're the most dangerous pretender in the playoffs because, like we saw last year, Anthony Edwards can step up in the playoffs. He fears nobody, but I just don't trust their second star. Like, Julius Randle has never been huge in the playoffs. I mean, he was out for the Knicks when they made their run. They're very dangerous, like I said, but I don't quite trust Randle to step up when he's gonna need to. The Rockets come to the playoffs. They're probably going to be the second seed, and literally everyone is overlooking them. No one has faith. I mean, they have some playoff experience. Dylan Brooks, Van Vliet, Steven Adams. Like, they have some guys, but their stars also lack that playoff experience. Sengun, Jalen Green, first time being there. Pretender, I mean, I'm sorry. They're too young. I think people are overlooking them. They could win their first round series. They could even maybe make the conference finals, but yeah, just too young.
They feel like Oklahoma City last year. Now, I'm not saying they're going to come out next year and win close to 70 games,
yeah.
But, you know, they feel like a young team that's going to get their first experience in the playoffs this year. And next year, that's where we really see what this team's all about. So next year team for the Houston Rockets. Now the Lakers, of course, shocker of all shockers midseason, acquiring Luka Doncic. LeBron's back from injury, so he should be fully healthy for the playoffs. Their front court is still a huge concern, but when you have LeBron and when you have Luka, I don't see how you can't be a contender.
I'm gonna shock everyone here and say they're pretender.
Wow.
Like, I'm the huge LeBron guy, and I'll be rooting for him to win that 5th ring, but the front court, I cannot get past that front court.
Oh yeah, it sucks, but LeBron and Luka.
LeBron and Luka, you can just look at that and say, yeah, they're fine, but at some point in the playoffs, the front court, it's gonna be a problem. If it's against Jokic, that's gonna be it. If it's against like OKC, Chet and Hartenstein, even if they make to the finals and it's the Celtics or Cavs, at one point that front court's gonna fail them. They're a next year team. They need to overhaul the roster, get some centers, but with Jackson Hayes back there and Trey Jemison III or Alex Len, it ain't happening.
Should have brought in Nurk midseason.
Yeah. What about the Nuggets, though? Best player in the world, Nikola Jokic, just absolutely insane this season. The supporting cast around him, it's been up and down. Christian Brown, breakout year. Murray and Gordon have dealt with injuries. Russ has been pretty good, did have that late game blunder, but overall he's been pretty good. Like, no shot at Russ there. Do you think they're a contender, the Nuggets?
I mean, again, you have the best player in the world. You're always a contender. You just are. I mean, no matter how good or bad the supporting cast is, Jokic is good enough that he's at least going to worry the other team the night before the game, because yeah, he can just give you a 60-point triple-double. Now his team still lost that game, but the fact that he was able to keep them in that game with how well he was playing, it's a testament to his abilities. So anytime you got that guy stood up for your team, you're a contender.
Yeah, absolutely. I still think if they don't choke that game last year, like they could have won the title, not saying they would have, but I think they could have won the title. You got Jokic, you're a contender. I mean, you summed it up pretty well.
Now, Golden State, I mean, the cockroach of the NBA. They can literally survive anything, and yet they somehow return to being a contender. This season was going nowhere for them. My 40-win prediction was right on the money, and then they land Jimmy Butler, and they've been maybe the best team in the NBA since the trade deadline. So it's a small sample size. It's only been 20 games so far, but when you're 18-2 in those 20 games, I mean, yeah, you are a contender.
Yeah, I hate to say it, I am extremely high on this Warriors team. Unlike the Lakers, like they feel a lot more balanced because they don't have a great front court either, but you have Draymond, who might win Defensive Player of the Year this year. You have Post, you have Looney, like they at least have that front court there, and they're just super deep. You got guys like Kuminga coming back. They're a great defensive team. You got Jimmy, who you trust in the playoffs. You got Steph, you trust in the playoffs. Steve Kerr, he's been around. He just knows what to do. Outside of Boston and OKC, I'm not sure there's another team I'd pick over them right now, and that includes the Cavs. Like, they feel so damn dangerous. They're always there. They know how to win. The Warriors, they're looking scary. Now the Thunder, kind of like the Celtics, like, do we even need to discuss this? We can wrap it up right now.
Yeah,
but
pretender.
Yeah,
they haven't even made the conference finals yet.
Right.
They're basically the Sixers of the West, right?
Yeah, Shea's the same as Embiid, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing you could possibly say. Like, they legit might win 70 games. I think it's technically still on the table. You had Hartenstein, you had Caruso, great all season, amazing defense. Shea's been killing it. I feel like they're going to win the title. I picked them to make the finals beforehand, and now I just feel like they're going to win the title. I mean, bold take here.
Yeah, I know, right? The team that's going to win probably 68, 69 games. Yeah, they're going to win the title.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of tend to agree they're probably the favorite right now. I still would love to see the Lakers Cavaliers finals. You know, that's my dream finals. But if I had, gun to my head and it's like, okay, pick a team that you trust to win the title, I tend to agree. I'd go with Oklahoma City.
So who do you guys think are the contenders and the pretenders of the playoffs? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving me a like, and hey, while you're here, check out some of our other content as well. And don't forget to subscribe to Synthetic Sports.